Hello, my dear students. This is your Baskaran, and now we are at English in its element. In this episode, I have taken up the grammar part of unit number 4, where the title is Kinds of Sentences. You know, sentences are of three kinds, namely simple, complex, and compound. They have been discussed in class 11. Anyhow, let's recall the basic structure of the three kinds of sentences here with the examples given. At first, they have given us examples for simple sentences, and let's take a look at them. Number 1, there is a solution to every problem. Number 2, work with dedication to achieve success. Number 3, the path to success is highly complicated. Number 4, a golden key can open any door. Number 5, in the event of your missing the bus, take a taxi. Number 6, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Number 7, the chief guest arrived in great haste. So, what we learnt or observed in all the sentences, they are just given here at the bottom. It is said a simple sentence has only one finite verb. You can check with all the sentences above. And the second thing is, simple sentences are used to depict universal truths, facts, and descriptions. And we are moving on to the next page, 122. Here it says, the third point, a simple sentence has just one independent clause. It has only one subject and one predicate. The fourth point says, a simple sentence may have subject complements, object complements, adverbial phrases, and non-finite words. Now, we have come to task number 1 at the page 122. The instruction is, pick out the finite verbs in the following sentences, and in sentence A, the finite verb is can solve, and in B, it is has been working, and in C, it is mingles. And coming to D, the finite verb is must speak, and in E, it is, and in F, it is walked, and in G, it is struggled, and in H, it is contact, and in I, it is fell, and in J, it is could not have completed. We are moving on to task 2. Here the instruction is, read the following passage and identify the simple sentences. The simple sentences in this passage are, sunflowers turn according to the position of the sun. And the next one is, in other words, they chase light. And the third one is, at the end of the passage, sunflowers turn to each other to share their energy. So these three are the simple sentences in this passage. Now we are going to see about complex sentence. Let's recall the differences between a phrase and a clause and learn to identify main and subordinate clauses. Phrase. Phrase is a group of words without a finite verb in it. It does not give complete sense. Examples, my new watch, a barking dog, the wise, the brave, etc. Coming to clause, a clause is a group of words with a finite verb in it. It may or may not make complete sense. Examples: my watch that is new, a dog that is barking, people who are wise, those who are brave. So, all these are examples for clauses. Moving on, we have a sentence and we have to look at it, analyze it. I have lost the watch that you gave me. Here, I have lost the watch. This part is called main clause, that is, the clause stands on its own. Whereas, that you gave me is called subordinate clause. That means the clause depends on the main clause for its meaning to be completed. And the word that here is called clause marker. The above sentence is an example of a complex sentence. A complex sentence has one main clause and one or more subordinate clauses. We are now coming to task 1 under this category. Look at the following complex sentences. Circle the main clauses and underline the subordinate clauses. So, here in A, nobody knows is the main clause. When the power supply will resume is the subordinate clause. Coming to B, please tell me is the main clause. What the time is the subordinate clause. And in C, the man was my schoolmate is the main clause. Who directed the film is the subordinate clause. And in D, I believe is the main clause. That all men are basically good is the subordinate clause. And in E, no one knows is the main clause. When he will return is the subordinate clause. In task 2, we have a passage and we have to pick out the complex sentences in it. In this passage, the first sentence, a man saw a lion in the bush as he was walking through the forest, is a complex sentence. And in the middle, he just knelt down as if he were getting ready to pray. It is another complex sentence. And coming to the end of the passage, shocked, he asked the lion what it was doing. It is the third complex sentence. And the last one is, the lion replied that he was praying before he started his meal. So these are the 4 complex sentences in this passage. Now we are moving on to compound sentence. We have an example. Honesty promotes character and dishonesty destroys it. Here, honesty promotes character is main clause 1, dishonesty destroys it is main clause 2, and the word and in between is the conjunction. So here, 2 main clauses connected by a conjunction form a compound sentence. Let's see task 1 below. It is, we have to identify the 2 main clauses and conjunction in each of the following sentences. Sentence A. It started raining suddenly. People ran for shelter. These 2 are the main clauses, main clause 1 and 2 respectively. And the word and in between is the conjunction. Coming to the sentence B, understand the concept well and you cannot solve the problem. These 2 are the main clauses 1 and 2 respectively. and the word otherwise in between is the conjunction. Coming to sentence C, 50 candidates appeared for the interview, only 5 were selected. So these two are the two main clauses, main clause 1 and 2 respectively, and the word but in between is the conjunction. Coming to D, Ramesh did not know Spanish. He wanted a translator. These two are the main clauses, main clause 1 and 2, and the word so in between is the conjunction. Coming to E, the last one in this task, he is a good actor. He is not popular. These two are the main clauses, main clause 1 and 2 respectively, and the word still in between is the conjunction. Let's see what the task 2 is. We have to pick out the compound sentences in the following passage. In this passage, the first sentence, the food we eat has to be digested and then thrown out of the body. This one is a compound sentence. And the sentence at the end of the passage, that is the last sentence of this passage, let me read it. Let's do away with hatred and lead a healthy life filled with peace and joy. This is another compound sentence. So in this passage, we find only 2 compound sentences. You can just go through and find out. We have another task at the next page, 124. It is task number 3, where we have to match 2 parts of a sentence. Let's move on. See, here we find task 3. Complete the sentences choosing the right endings. On the left, the beginning of a sentence at first is, we were thoroughly disappointed. This matches with the third one on the right, since our team did not get a prize. The second one on the left, hardly had he stepped out, and the fifth one on the right, when it began to rain. These two match. Then the third one on the left, they wanted, and the first one on the right, to find out his address. These two match and make a sentence. And the fourth one on the left, since we had run out of petrol, and the second one on the right, we could not go further. These two match and make a sentence. And the fifth one on the left, that is the last one in this task, is the cause of his injury. This matches with the fourth one on the right, was his reckless driving. Okay students, with this episode ends, and I hope to meet you in my next episode. Till then, thank you and goodbye from Baskaran.